Hello and welcome back YouTubers, I'm Protomario, and today's video is going to be over gamers having no life. Recently I commented on a video of Conan O'Brien, I believe, where he was playing Smash Brothers and he was basically being an uneducated gamer, or a gamer who didn't know anything. First off, I absolutely hate the stigma gamer. I hate that word. I think it is very broad and encompassing of a lot of things that don't belong. So without getting into that first, the video was basically of him playing a game, and then he had a couple clueless people with him, and then he had some people who really were into gaming. Of course, the clueless gamers were making fun of the people who were into gaming, and he himself said that, you know, gamers have no life. Well, I'm not calling the guy out. Obviously, his humor is there, people enjoy the show, and obviously, more or less, most people who are hardcore gamers probably are not tuned into him 24/7. But then again, I could be wrong. Opinions are opinions after all. So he challenged one of the gamers by saying that you know everything about this game, but you don't know who the third president is. So that's a good question, but I would like to argue with you, would knowing the third president help you in life at all? If anything, unless the job dictated it, probably not. If you're a cashier at Dollar General, is knowing the third president going to help you get a promotion? Probably not. Moreover, is being the executive at a gaming firm where you are developing the hottest new FPS, is knowing the third president going to help you? Probably not. Now, here, one more. Is being a talk show host and knowing who the third president is going to help? Maybe if the talk show is oriented around presidents, but probably not. Case in point, asking a pointless question about history and indicating that as the base knowledge of someone having a life or not is kind of silly. So the joke itself that bothers me all the time, not bother in a personal way, just more like annoying, is that gamers have no life. There are plenty of people on both sides. You can see that comment. There's tons of people on both sides, for and against the comment itself. It's just an uneducated, ignorant stigma, and a bias as well. It's kind of funny when people say that, because with what I do right now, you know, some people might say that I don't have life. However, I make more money than many other people. By no means am I rich, but I'm definitely getting more money than someone who's been working at a job that I know for 20 years. So, I don't know. You go ahead and do the math. Which one is better? So, saying that someone has no life because they do something for a long time and enjoy doing it is kind of silly. Think about it. For example, sports. Would it be acceptable for someone to sit there and watch a football game for 8 hours every other night? There are plenty of games when there's seasons kicking off and things like that, and you could very well be watching any type of game. Football game, then a boxing match, then a basketball game, and finally a baseball game, right? So it's not entirely impossible to be engrossed in sports and stuff like that. So the question remains, does that make you a no life? No, not too many people would say you don't have a life because you're so engrossed in sports. The same goes for a car person. If you're constantly going to car shows, say it's summertime, and there's car shows every other week, and you're there for 2 or 3 days. So do you have no life because you're at a car show for several days out of every week? Come on. Now, I can keep doing these comparisons and make it sound silly, but the stigma is there and it's ridiculous. Why? I know people are gonna say this. Well, Proto, you should have thicker skin, you shouldn't be offended by it. I'm not offended by it. It's the fact that ignorant things like this are still said today, and I just do not understand why. Why is there such ignorance in the community? Why is gaming still a niche? It's been around for 30 years. That would be like if in the 1980s we still considered telephones a niche. Like, hello, they've been around for quite some time. So, you know, it's silly. Like, do we consider PCs a niche? But I'm sure that people who know how to repair a PC may be considered a nerd, right? So, me being able to repair my PC and saving myself $100 to $200 just for being able to connect my hard drive cable properly and knowing how to do that, that might get me the nerd award, right? Again, you obviously know that that's not true, but the bias and the ignorance is there for the uneducated masses. This is why I am curious when gaming is going to become more mainstream and accepted than it is now. Yes, people do play it. Yes, people are more accepting of gaming, but it's still, with these stupid jokes and these mannerisms and these assumptions, and it's just... you know, you hear it and you're just like, oh, come on, man. Going off with that lame joke. So I'm curious, you know, what do you think personally? Do you feel that no life is being engrossed in a subject matter? And what qualifies as a no life? Please leave your comments in the section below. I'm going to expound on this a little bit and then wrap up the video. Comparing someone like me to a person who lives in their basement with a neckbeard that loves My Little Pony and plays fan fiction, fan-made games just to get their rocks off may not be the same thing. However, the same name could be applied to both of them. No life. People would consider me a no life because I spend a lot of time video gaming, but then again, they would consider someone who lives in their mother's basement a no life loser also. So what's the difference there? There's plenty of difference. So where's the line? Do you have to be someone who attends beaches all the time and plays volleyball with your bros? Do you have to be someone who goes out clubbing, go to bars? I understand that there's a level and a degree of a social life required to be not considered a social outcast, but where is the line where it's between having absolutely no life and having somewhat of a life? Where's the stereotype stop? This is what I am asking. This is what I'm questioning. There's no one that gets to me with these statements. It doesn't bother me. If someone feels that I don't have a life, that's fine. You can feel that way. I'm going to enjoy doing what I do. I'm going to enjoy my job. Do you see my subscriber count? Do you know what 150,000 people look like? You go ahead and Google that. Find out what 150,000 people look like. And you say to yourself, gee, 150,000 people found this guy interesting enough to watch. And then you come back to me and you tell me I have no life. I have life enough to socialize. I have life enough to go out and do whatever I want. I make videos here and there. Anything I want to do, I do it pretty much. So it's kind of silly to consider people who game on a regular basis no lives. I suppose this kind of stigma comes from the days where gaming was more niche than anything else, and you had people who were super nerdy sitting in a basement doing nothing but playing games and connecting with their 56K modems and stuff like that. However, I still think it's really silly. You have individuals like the angry video game nerd James Rolfe, who was able to make his own movie because he loves games so much. His channel alone, and the support from his channel, allowed him to make his own movie. There are people like Pat the NES Punk. Would you consider him a no-life? Because he's almost got every single NES game that there possibly is. I'm pretty sure he plays a lot of games. Would you consider him a no-life? Would you consider someone who spends hours making videos on the internet no-life? Would you consider someone who spends hours at a gym a no-life? It's an interesting question that a lot of people kind of base loosely around an opinion. So, ladies and gentlemen, after you've heard my thoughts and my opinions on this, please leave your comments in the section below and allow me to understand what you think no life actually means. Having no life literally being dead, having no social life being a social outcast, or maybe it's something much more. These generalizations really need to stop in the gaming community if we want to rise up and become something more than we already are. Thanks for watching, and of course, happy gaming. Please remember to like and share my work, and of course, I've been your host, Protomario, and I'm signing out. And now comes the all-important decision of supporting the Maverick Army. Join the Maverick Rebellion today. Subscribe and become a Maverick. We are a tight-knit community who desire to change the gaming stereotype into something better. Together, we will revolutionize the world of gaming and the way gaming is viewed on YouTube and across all platforms. Mavericks unite. Subscribe today and become a Maverick with us. I'm Protomario, and I approve this message. Please note that in all my videos, if I use images from Google, that I do not own any of those images, and all images obtained from Google are owned by their respective owners and copyrights. So please remember this when watching my Pokemon theories. Thanks.